2022's mind-blowing football anime, Aoashi, should be talked about as one of the very best modern sports anime. Brought to life by Production IG, Aoashi explores many of the realities athletes must face on their way to becoming a professional, and it does so with the production flair you come to expect with the studio that brought Haikyuu and Run with the Wind to life. The story centers on Ahsito, a middle school forward who is the star of his small-town team and his dream of playing professionally. Aoashi doesn't lean into the superpowers of a Kuroko no Basket, nor does it have the same level of a grounded realism that made Run with the Wind such a life-changing experience. Its unique angle comes from the socio-economic status of Ahsito, and how that plays a fundamental role in the story. Ahsito's family doesn't have a lot of money. That means opportunities that would be afforded to other players often lay beyond Ahsito's reach, and the opportunities he does receive comes with an added pressure. From the equipment he has to the camps he can attend, Ahsito starts the show at a major disadvantage. The beauty of this series lies in this disadvantage, as the story refuses to ignore this very real issue when it comes to sports. I only watched this show recently because of a watch-along I hosted on this channel, and I'm so thankful that I did. Like an unknowing defender, I came to this show not expecting much, as I had only heard rumblings about the series, but at every possible moment, the story pivoted beyond my expectations. First, it started with the hyper-emotional first 5 episodes that dug deep in a way usually reserved for the finale of a season. Then it followed that up with the reality of Ahsito and the other side characters' skill. Just as I thought I knew what was about to come, we hit the midway point of the first season. Attack on Titan, Death Note, and Madoka Magica get praised for their jaw-dropping plot twists. I'm telling you, Aoashi has an argument to be amongst those greats. The story knocked me off my feet with the midway climax in a way few sports anime have been able to do. What started out as a solid, high-end sports series soon found itself on an all-time track. Welcome to Annie Essays. Here we overanalyze anime and manga, with each video on the channel created under the belief that anime, same as film and literature, is worthy of in-depth criticism. If you enjoy my videos, then consider checking out my Patreon or YouTube membership. More information about benefits at the end of this video. I want to focus on Aowashi's concept by diving into the first episode with minor spoilers beyond that. For already established fans of the show, don't worry, I will dive into the major twist with some spoiler-filled thoughts near this video's end. Aoashi starts us out at the middle school level, where our main character Ahsito balls out, scoring all 3 of his team's goals, while 2 important characters watch from the stands. Ahsito carries his less-than-talented teammates and seems to be unstoppable until the opposing team's goalie runs his mouth. The goalie calls Ahsito selfish, saying that his new teammates lack skill, then makes fun of Ahsito's lack of money, causing our protagonist to headbutt the goalie and get kicked out of the game. From the crowd, a mysterious coach watches, seeing Ahsito's potential despite getting tossed. Ahsito's mother watches as well, feeling shame for her son's actions and regrets taking time off of work to go watch him play. Aowashi's first episode in concept doesn't knock your socks off, but it does provide fundamental storytelling elements by introducing a few nuanced characters, a strong central conflict, compelling themes, and twists just enough at the end so you're ready for more. Ahsito toys the line of an empathetic and annoying character, which makes him fun to watch. He is loud, selfish, and has talent, all things that make him a bit annoying. In the same vein, his teammates genuinely love him. He doesn't have an advantageous background and trains his ass off. While Ahsito has talent, he is far from a surefire star, and that nuance of mixed potential grounds him right away. His relationship with his mother and brother helps move things forward. His mom loves him, but also sacrifices a lot to make sure he can compete. Add a mysterious coach on top of it all, and the cast starts to shine before you even meet any of the other star players. Ahsito's playstyle drives the conflict. He wants to play his way, which is ball dominant. That works for a player on a lackluster team, but we know as his ambitions rise, so too will the talent of his teammates. How will he adjust when he inevitably finds himself on a stronger team? Add in financial pressure and you have drama that writes itself. Thematically, Aoashi explores real hardships for players who have come from less than ideal environments. In a lot of ways, this is the strongest element to the start of the show. All of us have things we want to accomplish, but don't have the immediate resources to even see how far we could go. If you grow up in an area that doesn't have a lot of talented football players, then how are you supposed to develop that talent for yourself? Expressing your own skills and finding out your unique style of play matters a lot in Aoashi, and it is apparent right from the first episode. Lastly, every great first episode leaves us with a twist on the initial concept that makes you want to turn on episode 2. Attack on Titan has a famously strong first episode. Eren, Mikasa, and Armin all have compelling introductions. The concept is out of this world, then everything gets flipped on its head when the colossal Titan shows up. For Aoashi, the twist lies in Ahsito's ability for teamwork. He reveals how wide his field vision is, and that he actually doesn't play as selfishly as we were led to believe. Ahsito has such a strong view of the field that he manipulates those around him subconsciously. The mysterious coach turns out to be a youth team manager and offers Ahsito to come for a tryout to join the youth program. This is an opportunity that not a lot of players get, and getting accepted into this program would allow him to improve his skill by leaps and bounds. I think this is where a comparison to another series is apt. Blue Lock is the most popular sports anime in the world right now, and for good reason. While the second season's anime adaptation leaves a lot to be desired, the central plot and storytelling on display in that series is so insane you just can't keep your eyes away. A state-of-the-art facility takes the idea of real-world youth programs to an absolute extreme, with millions of dollars of government money being poured into making a good striker that can compete at the World Cup. The insanity of Blue Lock is in large part what makes that series so interesting. Aoashi contrasts that as a far less flashy series, but one that will have you just as connected with its characters and ideas, as long as you get on board with being in just a regular youth team program and not one that has robot goalkeepers. This kind of grounded storytelling allows the first handful of episodes to have a major emotional side to them, as Ahsito has to balance his dream of playing professionally and the money that would allow him that chance with the reality that his family can't afford state-of-the-art training. His relationship with his mom is really on full display in these first few episodes and will make you intimately hooked with the characters. Early on, Ahsito has to navigate playing against and alongside players talented enough to play for the youth team. While working through such a jump in surrounding talent, the egos of the players mark major challenges. Tactically and emotionally, Ahsito will have to battle if he wants to make his dream become a reality, and the matches we get here do a great job at leaning into the tactical side of the game to paint a vivid view of Ahsito's skill set, and the same with his teammates. You learn so much about who each character is by how they play, far more than you get from straight dialogue at the story's start. Aoashi indulges in everything that I have come to love about sports anime, with a rich cast and inspiring ideas. It is enough to get any fan of the genre to give the series a try. Ahsito and the cast makes for great characters worth investing in, but halfway through the first season, everything changes. Spoilers ahead. The groundwork had been laid, interesting ideas, a great cast, and fun matches, but to compete with the likes of Haikyuu or Slam Dunk, to name a few, you need to give us something more. Ahsito is not destined to be a star forward, but a fullback, a defender. All of this time at the youth team, the coaching staff had been planning to make this change for Ahsito. This twist comes with some mixed feelings for both Ahsito and the audience. By this point, we identify pretty heavily with him and want to see him be a star forward, overcoming the players who underestimate him. On the other hand, we see his skill set could be applied to a different position and take his game to an entirely new level. The shift actually reminds me a bit of Dr. Stone, a series that realigned its central character to make the show more interesting. While Dr. Stone's shift wasn't planned and Ahsito's positional change almost assuredly was, they have a similar effect. The context of everything that came previously is changed and the realities of being an athlete crystallized. A coaching staff asking an athlete to switch positions is nothing new. When you come from a small town, the most talented players will always gravitate towards positions that touch the ball the most. But so many of those athletes will go on to play on teams where they are not the most talented anymore, and then are presented with a choice: quit or change positions. As shown in the first episode, Ahsito's greatest skill is seeing the wide view of the field and manipulating the other players to his advantage. In terms of moves that can score goals, he has talent, but nothing that is far beyond the players we see at the youth camp tryouts. All positions need a view of the field, but by moving Ahsito to fullback, it creates an advantage at a position that few other teams will ever have. His creativity and vision will unlock the team's attack, but he can also use that vision to help his teammates defensively. The second half of the season focuses on Ahsito's choice to accept this positional change or not. Now we have even more ideas layered upon the show, mainly identity. Ahsito always viewed himself as a forward, the star of the team. Playing fullback shatters that identity. Ahsito's relationship with the game and his improved play can only grow if he accepts his new role. And the audience knows right away that this change will be a good one for him. And part of the joy of watching this series is seeing Ahsito come to that realization himself. Ahsito's skills may have always been better aligned to play fullback. Ahsito's goal isn't to be the greatest striker in the world or the flashiest player. He wants to play professionally. This position is probably the best way to use his skills. That's something we have to look out for and appreciate with those who care about us, listening when they nudge us in a different direction that might be better than what we actually want. It is easy to get wrapped up in this idea of being the best, but when you think about what that means, you'll quickly find that there is no strict definition, and you should always be looking inward, trying to understand what you care about and what you are good at. This change is so fundamentally important because it shows that each position has equal importance on the field, and just because at a young age we were interested in something flashier doesn't mean that that should be our path forever. This is how you add a subtle twist into your narrative. All of the signs were there for Ahsito, that he was good but likely not good enough. Instead of having him move up the ladder without addressing his lack of skill compared to the others, the author takes us in a more realistic direction, changing his position. And I think this is a far more inspiring way to go, as it never mattered what position Ahsito plays, as long as he played the game to his fullest potential. This was an analysis strictly for the first season of the anime. While I've only dabbled a little bit into the manga's material, from what I can see, Aoashi only gets better and more complex as its story moves forward. This is really the hidden gem of sports anime and manga, and one that I hope many more people will get into. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was so much fun watching Aoashi for the watch-along that I just had to make a video on it. If you enjoy my videos and you want to support me further, then consider checking out my Patreon or YouTube membership. Through both memberships, you get access to this channel's Discord server where I host my monthly anime watch-alongs where we did watch Aoashi, as well as have the opportunity to chat with me and other people from the community. You also get exclusive monthly update posts, as well as your name at the end of every video. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.